Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to the NFL Sunday Morning Show. I'm here with my guys Big C and James. It looks like your camera's cut off. Oh. There you go, Jan. There you go. How you doing, man? I haven't talked to you in a minute. Oop.
You talking to me? What's up? What's
Yeah,
up?
yeah. How
How you
you
doing?
doing, man? How you doing?
I'm all right. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. Just got back from the shore yesterday, and now I'm here. So grind don't stop. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Let's get it started. How you been? First off, how you been?
Doing all right. Stressing over this football team as usual. Uh, Still major holes that we need filled. That no matter what the film's telling us, no matter what the practices are telling us, the general manager continues to not address the major issues on this football team, and I just don't know how we expect to succeed if we're not gonna do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The elite teams in this league don't have major gaping holes like that. And if you want to compete with those teams, you gotta match them to a point.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna ask you, like, you guys had this whole thing with Tyreek Hill still going on, the trade with Jalen Ramsey. I mean, this offseason's been crazy for you guys. It's been really crazy. So,
Well, I think the Tyreek thing's more of a media thing. You know, they're waiting and they want Tyreek. They want the drama of the Tyreek Hill situation. Tyreek and Tua, there's supposed to be a rift between their relationship because Tua came out and said, "Hey, they're working on things." You know what I mean? Like they did have to come back from Tua's or Tyreek's comments from last year, but uh, when they were in Detroit, they were going out to dinner every day together. You know what I mean? This is coming from the beat writers and stuff, seeing firsthand. They're going to dinner, they're spending time, they're laughing, they're joking. You know what I mean? So that's not an issue. Jalen Ramsey, listen, we got an all pro safety in return. It's
yeah,
not ideal because we got we're so short at the corner position, but we got more in return than what we ever thought we were going to get. I like Minka better than I like Jalen Ramsey. It's a crappy situation that we don't have any depth at corner right now.
mm, yeah. The Eagles are the same way with our CB2. I mean, CB2, Kelly Ringo gets burnt. Adoree Jackson gets burnt. We're basically stuck at CB2 right now after we let Slay go to the Steelers. So we're just trying to figure out who could be that piece. And Eagles fans are saying Cooper DeJean, put him at the two. But I'm like, he's better at the slot. So we got a little thing there we got to iron out. So you're not the only one. Not the only one. I'm going to miss Darius Slay, though. I'm going to miss him. So, yeah, what is up, chat? How's everyone doing? How's everyone doing? So, yeah, how's preseason games for you guys for the Dolphins?
Well, the joint practices haven't gone very well for us especially the first day against the Chicago Bears and then the first day against the Detroit Lions. First day against Chicago was kind of taking liberties with our players, their defense, with our offense. Typically coaches have an agreement. Listen, we're gonna thud, which is you hit the guy, but you don't tackle him to the ground. You don't go too far with it. First day versus Chicago, they were taking our quarterback to the ground. Jalen Waddle had to miss time. They hit him so hard. Achane was taken out of the joint practice for a while. Like they were taking liberties with our players. So I wasn't a huge fan of that. And then the first day of joint practices with Detroit press guys were coming out saying, it was the most lopsided joint practice they had ever seen. And now, mind you, Detroit was a 15-win team last year. You know what I mean? And
Right.
of course, the media they want it to fit the narrative. Oh, they out physicaled the Miami Dolphins. No, they didn't out physical us. They're a better football team than we are. They are more talented than we are. So
Right.
they performed better. We had a bad practice. Day two joint practices with Detroit. We stepped back up and we had a good practice with them. We matched them, and then yesterday at the preseason game, we ended up picking up the win. Preseason wins don't mean anything, but I think we looked good. You know what I mean? As you know, St. Brown had his way with our defensive backs, which St. Brown's one of the top 10 receivers in this league. as far as a route runner, he's probably top 3. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not a surprise that St. Brown has his way with a bunch of, third, fourth on the depth chart cornerbacks. You know what I mean? He's supposed to. So, I really think we should have went after Jair Alexander when he was available. We should have pressed that hard. You look at Madden, and I know Madden doesn't have nothing to do with real football, but Jair Alexander rated 93 on there. You know what I mean? If you could have had him for $8 million, you should have went and grabbed him. You know what I mean?
Right.
Darius Slay was available this offseason. Players were available that they didn't go out and get. And I think the guys that are left aren't needle movers. So you got to make a trade. You got to make a trade for somebody. And or else you're going to be in big trouble, because even our guys that are normally third, fourth on the depth chart, they're getting hurt. So we're having to dig even deeper. You know what I mean? And if Detroit Lions fourth string receivers are making our starting corners look bad, what are the league's top corners, our wide receivers, going to do to us?
Right. James, how you doing, man? How you doing?
Good now, man. My internet went to complete crap right as we were about to start the show. So let me know if it sounded sketchy on your end, but I think I got it all straightened out. Reset the modem and router. I think I'm good now.
Yeah, just a little bit, but overall you're good. You're good. Cool. But cool. Yeah, we were just talking to him about his Dolphins in the preseason and a little bit about the Eagles. So now your team with the Steelers this preseason this past week. How's your Steelers?
Yeah, I mean, rough in some areas. For me, what I'm looking at mostly is I want to see development from some of the young guys. And Derek Harmon showed some nice improvement from week 1 to week 2. Got a bull rush, a real nice sack against a Buccaneers guy. I think it might have been a backup guard though, so it's a little tougher to put too much stock in that. Caleb Johnson had a real nice game in all areas. He improved in kick return, improved with his awareness and pass protection and knowing when to release to go out to become a receiver, and looked a lot better as a runner as well. So there's some areas of progress. Corner room doesn't look that great, but they're not playing their top 3 guys. So I'm not as concerned about the backup corners not looking as good. If Slay and Ramsey and Porter were out there and looking bad, I'd be a little worried about that. But they've been held out because they don't want them to get injured. So not as worried. Like 8 of the 11 starters on offense or on defense were held out in this game. And it's just to keep them safe so that they're not getting injured. I'm trying to hold back on expectations a little bit there. But some guys looked good that I needed to look good, like Roman Wilson, your boy. He's been excellent for us in the first 2 preseason games, and he needed to prove that he's willing, capable number 2 or 3 wide receiver. So some bright spots where you needed to see him.
Yeah, that's good to hear. I was worried about if he was going to fit right in. It looks like he is, right? He's just fitting right in.
Yeah, very explosive. Again, what's the level that you're playing against? But the Buccaneers didn't play their starting corner, so at least he got to go against those guys in a 42-yard touchdown pass. The other one was like a 30-yard reception. So he's showing some ability to get in and out of his breaks and get some separation.
Yeah. Good morning, Christy. How you doing? Yeah, I'm just happy for Wilson after what happened to him last year. Like, that was just heartbreaking. Now he's doing great. He gets a who's your other wide receiver? I'm drawing a blank.
DK, but he hasn't played yet. Again, I don't expect him to. They don't want him to get injured in the preseason. Calvin Austin III's the other one. He is injured, so he's not playing both because he's a starter and because he's injured. I think they would have been playing him otherwise. So I'm a little bit more worried about what's going on there because they don't have to tell you what injuries are in the preseason. So when somebody's not playing, you're just kind of up in the air on it. He hasn't been practicing either. So hopefully that all works itself out by the time week 1 comes around.
Yeah. We actually got a question for you, James. You guys like Skylar?
I like week 1 Skylar better than week 2 Skylar. He was a stud week 1. Last night not as good, but he still wasn't awful. 10 of 15, 120 some yards passing. And the one interception he threw bounced off the receiver's hands, went up in the air, and the DB caught it, so it wasn't even a bad throw. So Skyler's been decent for us so far, but probably not going to make the team still.
Damn. And Christy actually brings up something funny. When it comes to the Cowboys, I have no expectations. I think we're all on the same page here, especially the whole thing with the Michael Parsons situation. We talked about that last week. Excuse me. Big C, how do you feel about the whole thing with Michael Parsons and everything with the Cowboys?
I mean, it's typical. A player doesn't get exactly what he wants. He requests a trade. I don't want to play there no more. But if Jerry Jones hands him a check, he's gonna play, and everything will be. I don't see Micah moving on. I think they figure out a way. He's too good of a player to let walk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the prime of his career,
Mm-hmm.
it is. I mean, I don't know. They got a lot of high praise guys over there, and they're at best third in their division. I mean,
yeah, it's crazy. It's hilarious for me. I'm just loving this. There's nothing else for me to say about that. And honestly, let's keep it in that division. Jackson Dart looked good. I don't know if you guys watched that game at all. Did you? Jackson Dart with the Giants now.
I mean, I've seen a little bit of it.
Yeah, he's been getting a lot of praise from Giants fans, which how much do you need? I mean, the Giants, Russell Wilson had a nice throw.
In reality, the Cowboys should probably trade Parsons. You think the haul they could get for him, you know what I mean? You're not in a position where you're going to compete for the division probably in the next few years. Dak Prescott's overpaid. I mean, Dak Prescott's a good quarterback in my mind, but he's still overpaid. You're not going to compete with the Eagles. You're not going to compete with Washington. Why not go out and get a haul for him? Trade CeeDee Lamb too. Go get a haul for him. Imagine the draft haul you can get to build this team in the future. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense to hold on to these players that are in the prime of their career that for what? To finish third in the division. You know what I mean? To be good enough not to get the top pick in the draft. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think Big C's onto something there, man. Honestly, look back at what they did with Herschel Walker. They trade Herschel Walker, get a mountain of picks, build their entire franchise good enough to win a couple of Super Bowls with Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, and Michael Irving and that whole crew off of that trade. So I think that's a really good idea for them. You're in that horrible in-between stage where you're not crappy and you're also not good. Being mediocre is an awful place to be for a long time. It's tough to rebuild from the draft when you're always in the late teens and early 20s. So I think that's not a bad idea, is trade these guys away, get as much capital as you can, and start over.
Yeah, but wouldn't they have to pay Micah? Like, Micah's going to get a boatload. Who's going to want to pay that? That's just
somebody's gonna. He's an elite player in the prime of his career. Someone's gonna pay that. I mean, they pay TJ Watt, they pay Myles Garrett. You know, these players get paid.
Yeah, and TJ and Myles are both older than Micah by a good 3 or 4 years too. So I agree with Big C on that as well. Like there's probably at least a dozen teams right now that would put together pretty big packages to try to trade for him because they just don't have that player on defense. And there's very few pass rushers in the NFL that are that talented too. You know, he's in that top 5 category of best pass rushers in the NFL, and most teams would give an arm and a leg to get one of those guys on their team.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have. Isn't their corner Trayvon Diggs still injured? He's still injured, right?
I don't know if he's injured or not.
I know the other corner is
Bland or Glenn.
Yeah,
Bland?
He's out. He's out. Hey, if I'm Jake Ferguson, I'm loving it. I got paid, getting married soon. I'm doing good. Jake Ferguson's like, he's living a life right now. Not liking all the drama, but he's sure living a life. So, yeah. Don't suggest that to the Cowboys to that with Parsons. Jimmy Johnson is not walking through those doors. Yeah, no one's walking through those doors. It's kind of, hey, if Michael Parsons doesn't play on the first game, I'm all good. I am good. Just keep him out there. So, There was actually this player I want to talk about. The Raiders' new running back, Genti. He's been killing it from what I've seen in the preseason so far. How do you guys feel about him? Did you guys see any highlights of him this preseason?
I haven't
No.
seen any.
No.
No, I haven't, but I'm not surprised to hear that he's looking that good. Because honestly, that's what we expected. He was the clear-cut number one running back coming out in this draft class. Looked like a generational talent kind of guy that you could put up there with the skill level, elusiveness that you get out of a guy like Saquon Barkley. He's that shorter, well-built, very, very quick and elusive dude. So I'm not surprised to hear it. Looks like he had almost a 5-yard average per carry in this game against the Niners. Again, preseason is tough to tell. Is he going against starting defenders or not? But I do expect him to be real successful in the league because he's just that guy. Some people come into the league and you really don't have any questions about their game, and he's one of those dudes to me.
It's him and Brock Bowers. I mean, they have a good 1-2 punch. Who's their quarterback again? Isn't that Geno?
Geno.
Yeah.
It's Geno, yeah. Oh, yep. It's Geno Smith, Aiden O'Connell, and Cam Miller. So, not exactly good, but Geno, you knew that we're going to bring him with God, who's their head coach now? Isn't that Pete Carroll? Yeah, it's Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Pete Carroll. So, hey, and Genti's actually up there in fantasy. I think it's like, what, top 5 in running backs for fantasy this year? So,
Nice.
I will pretty much get. I don't know if I'm doing fantasy, but if I was, I'll try to get him like in a third round, second, third, around there.
If he's top 5 back, he's going first 2 rounds definitely.
Yeah. What is up, Philly? You think he'll be first round, Genti? I see him second.
I agree. Yeah, if he's rated as a top 5 back, he's going probably first round or early in the second if he doesn't go in first. The question to me that I don't know about his game personally is how good is he a receiver of the football? If his hands are good, if he proves himself in pass protection, then this dude's getting a lot of points in fantasy because he's going to see it like crazy.
Yeah. And what is up, Philly halftime? How's it going? Denver Broncos are going to be really good this year. You guys agree with halftime on that one with Denver Broncos? I don't see it.
I'm not sold on their quarterback. He's, he had a good year last year, but too many broken plays that he turned something into nothing. I don't think that that's a way that you can continue to play football and expect continued success. You know what I mean? Every play that I watched him, he was taking the snap and leaving the pocket and doing some crazy stuff. Like I don't like that type of quarterback play. So I'm not someone that's big on the Broncos, especially with the Chargers over there and Jim Harbaugh. And of course you got Pat Mahomes still and Andy Reid. So I don't see anything more than a third place finish. And I don't see them making the playoffs again. Their defense is legit though.
James, how about you?
Yeah, you got to stack years. It's a lot of times with the NFL, you see guys like this come into the league. Nobody really knows what to expect out of a rookie. They do well, and then that second year comes and they're nowhere near as good. So I would expect it to be way more likely that his second year in the NFL is a little bit of a drop-off than it is that he plays at the same level. Especially like Big C said, if he's one of those dudes doing a lot of outside of the pocket, running around and ad-libbing, that doesn't always go well long-term. Some dudes can do that their whole career and just make a career out of it, just kind of constantly elongating plays until guys pop open. But I'd be way more surprised if he was as good this upcoming season as he was last season than I would be if he has a step back. I would expect it to be a lot more turnovers this year and kind of back to normalcy kind of thing. Like CJ Stroud. CJ was incredible his rookie season. Year 2, he wasn't bad. He just wasn't as good as he was as a rookie.
Yeah. I mean, who are the Broncos? Who they're playing week 1? That usually sets it up. I got it. That's not what I'm looking for. Come on, where are you, you son of a? Come on, why can't I find? There you are, son of a gun. All right. So the first week, the Broncos got Tennessee. Then they got the Colts and the Chargers. I mean, hey, then they got the Bengals and the Eagles. They got a pretty tough schedule. Tough schedule going up. Then they got the Jets, Giants, Cowboys, Houston, Raiders, Chiefs, and then they have a good chance being a good record. Like I could see like what 9 wins or something, 9-10. I could see that. I could definitely see that.
Yeah, they're gonna be.
So-
I mean, they'll be all right. They got an elite defense. They'll put some points on the board, but I mean, we're still talking about third best in the division if they're lucky.
Yeah. Yep, I definitely see that. And yeah. And then here's another question for you guys. With the Colts, right? You have the two
I'm talking about all the
quarterbacks.
bad teams today. I'm talking
I
about
don't know. I'm just
the
spewing my-
Cowboys, Broncos, now the Colts.
Well, the Cowboys are just plain funny. The Cowboys are just plain hilarious for me. Like I can take anything right now. Anything.
Next
to laugh
up,
at
Jaguars.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I'm just throwing something. If you guys want to put something to the table, let me know. But for me right now, Daniel Jones, I can't picture him as starting quarterback. Never mind. But
I don't think
Yeah.
Daniel Jones. I don't think Daniel Jones got a fair shot of it. Really, the Giants are
No.
a mess. You know,
No, he's
they
on the
didn't-
Colts.
They didn't give it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I know, but they never gave
Yeah.
the Giants never gave him an offensive line.
yeah.
He'd get one weapon, they trade the other weapon away. So you're only giving them one weapon at a time. I mean, look at what the Giants did to Saquon Barkley. You know what I mean? I think Daniel Jones. I don't think he's an elite quarterback by any means, but I think he's a quarterback that can go out and win you football games if you got a good defense and a good running game. I think he's an accurate quarterback. He don't got the greatest arm. He's pretty mobile. I think he could take a team to the playoffs. I mean, I don't think he's taken to the Colts to the playoffs, but I mean, I don't think Daniel Jones is as bad as people try to make him out to be.
James.
Yeah, I think in the situation with the Colts, he doesn't really have any real competition there. Richardson doesn't look like he has what it takes to get through the progressions and make the throws necessary. Hell of an athlete. Yeah, seems like a guy that maybe he could have picked another position. He could have been a dominant player in the league. But we're going to have a similar situation to some of these other guys that come in the league as elite athletes and just can't put it together with some of their passing skills. I think there. Daniel Jones, yeah, I mean, he's shown at times to me that he's got the capabilities of being a good quarterback. Not to sound like a repetitive and just like a fanboy, a big C all episode here, but again, I agree with him on this one. We just didn't have much for weapons with the Giants going against tougher teams nonstop. And if he ever gets himself in a position where he's got enough talent around him, he might see him shine a little bit. But it's going to be tough for him, I think, in Indy too. But I don't think anyone's coming for his job there. I think he's at least got that.
Yeah. And then Kosha goes, you're mostly right about the New York Giants, but Daniel Jones is another Zach Wilson talent, but no gray matter.
I think he's far better than Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson, like I said, he has a talented arm. He just doesn't have it upstairs. He's slow on everything. He's late on everything. Even his progressions yesterday against the Detroit Lions, he's late on everything. He takes too many sacks. He uses his talented right arm to, he sees stuff late. So, but he uses our right arm. He's got such a good right arm that he tries to force it in at the last second, and sometimes it works out for him. Sometimes he eats the sack, but Zach Wilson doesn't have it upstairs. I don't think that's the problem with Daniel Jones.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with Daniel Jones after playing against him so many years, he was I don't even think he wasn't that mobile, but when he runs, he can go, but he just would stay in the pocket most of the time. And it kind of reminds me when he was playing against us, he had a wide open field down, he was just running, then he face plants on the way to the end zone, which was hilarious. Like he just falls flat on his face. Like
Well, people were surprised he could run that fast, though.
Yeah.
I mean, he was probably surprised. That's why he fell.
Yeah, he got clocked at like 21 or 22 miles an hour on that run. He was moving.
He was definitely moving.
And then he just fell flat. I'm like, how is that even possible? My friend is a Giants fan. So I called him right after that run. He was like, yeah. And I was like, yo, is your quarterback okay? He hung up on me. Didn't talk to me for a week. I'm like, are you serious? It's like, not my problem. Nah. Yeah. So, oh man, is there any other teams that you guys think could make like a what is the word I'm thinking of? Like, I mean, out of the blue, is there a team that you think that could make a step forward that no one's thinking about? Like a team that no one thinks, and then you're just like, whoa, what happened here? Any shocking teams? You guys think of anything?
I don't know if it's shocking. I think the Chicago Bears could make a major jump from what they were last year. Caleb Williams with new head coach, new offensive line. I think their defense is going to be fairly good. I think they could compete for a playoff spot. I don't think they're going to compete with the Lions for the division, but I think they could compete for a playoff spot. I don't know about anybody else like really surprised. I think they're pretty clear cut who the favorites are in the divisions.
Yeah. I really like what the Bears did this offseason. Yeah. That's all my dad would talk about, just the Bears. He's like, Mitch, watch out for the Bears. I'm like, all right, I'll wait and see. I mean, it's the Bears. So.
Yeah, when your biggest issue is the offensive line, and you go out and get three pretty skilled interior offensive linemen and completely replace your center and both guards, you got to like what they did there. I wonder if this is going to be a year where Houston kind of takes the next jump. I know that wouldn't necessarily surprise a ton of people, and you're more looking for surprises at this point. But I feel like C.J. Stroud's probably going to really put it all together in this third year here, and we might be talking about him breaking into that top tier of quarterbacks a little bit higher than what he has thus far. Starting to get things kind of solidified around him there, and Houston might make a little bit of a noise in the AFC this year. Kind of surprise some folks as to how they actually.
I completely disagree with that because their offensive line is one of the worst in the NFL. As far as wide receivers and running backs, yeah, but that offensive line, he's still such a young quarterback, and we've seen him take a step back last year. I just think, he's lucky that he's in a weak division that they were still able to win it last year. I don't see him making that progress without a good offensive line.
Yeah. Arizona could be a team too that have one. They just drafted Marvin Harrison Jr. So I can't wait for him. That was last year. Oh my God, what's wrong with me today? Long day, long weekend. But yeah, you guys think with Arizona, they can shock some people?
I'm not a huge fan of Kyler Murray, and I mean, he's all right, but I don't know. I think the Rams are probably the best team in that division.
You said the Rams?
Yeah, I think the Rams are probably the best team in that division. I don't think Arizona makes the playoffs.
Yeah, let me pull up the standings right here. We could make some predictions here. Let me search.
I think Arizona was just wildly inconsistent last year. 1 week they'd put up 35 points. The next week they could barely get a field goal on the board. So they need to be more consistent on offense. And it seems like a lot of the same weapons coming back. So I don't know how much more consistent we can expect them to be. But if their play levels out, they could take a step forward. But I think they're still a step behind the Rams too.
Yeah. San Francisco, Kosha says, I mean, with the healthy McCaffrey, that's the only thing for me. He got to be healthy in order for them to do anything. I
think that team is no more reliant on injury than anybody else in the NFL. It seems like 1 year they'll have 15 guys on the injured reserve, and the next year only 1 or 2 guys get hurt. So it just depends on what year they have. Is this the year that they're going to have 15 to 20 dudes on the IR again, or are they finally going to be healthy? Because there's plenty of talent on that team, but they seem to always be hurt in the key positions.
Yeah, and Brandon Ayuk is still injured, right?
I think so, yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, they got that whole thing. George Kittle is pretty much the best player on the team right now. And I'm not a big fan of Brock Purdy. I'm not biased aside, no, but I'm just like, he doesn't do it for me. He's just a regular. I'm not a big fan of Brock Purdy. He's got a great team around him. That's my opinion. So I'm not a big fan. You guys like Brock Purdy or not?
I mean, I think he can get the job done. Like you said, he's got, with a talented team around him, he can win you football games. And I mean, he doesn't necessarily lose the game for you. So, I mean, he's serviceable. He's, like I said, he's not an elite quarterback. So, I mean, he's not top 10 quarterbacks.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. To me, he's an accuracy dude with good pocket presence, and that helps out with trying to keep a play alive. But he's never going to wow you with like that crazy bullet arm or anything like that. It's just not who he is. If you get enough talent around him, sure, he can take it somewhere. But I don't think you're going to see too many 400-yard games out of this kid. Not too many 4-touchdown passes, that kind of stuff. He's more the get you 200 to 250 and not screw it up.
Yeah. Didn't he just get paid?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my. I got to look at his contract. What the hell did he get?
They didn't have a choice. I mean, what are you going to do? Start over at quarterback? You got to pay him.
Yeah. 5 years, $265 million contract extension. Geez, this deal includes $181 million in total guarantees with $165 million guaranteed in the first 3 years.
But that's the problem with the league nowadays, is that, if you're the 15th best quarterback, you should get the 15th best money. And every time one of these quarterbacks comes up for a contract, you gotta give him top 5 money. And that's ridiculous. It's absolutely insane. Are you better than Pat Mahomes? Why should you make more money than Pat Mahomes? Are you better than Josh Allen? Are you better than Lamar Jackson? Why do I have to pay? I don't care that it's your turn to get paid. You're not better than those guys, so I'm not going to give you more money than them. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense.
That's just where
it makes Tampa Bay look real smart, right? Because Tampa didn't give Baker Mayfield top dollar. They gave him like 30, 33 million a year, which I felt like was kind of requisite of the talent that he was showing. And he's playing pretty well for him. So I feel like that's kind of more the range that Purdy should have been in that 30 to 35 million, not 55 million.
Well, if they have another good year, he's not coming to camp without a new deal.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Yeah. Big C, Terry McLaurin is the most recent example. This whole thing with Terry McLaurin is crazy.
I don't see Terry McLaurin as an elite receiver, a top 10 receiver in this league, but he want $30 million a year. Like that's, it's just crazy.
Do you think he's actually going to get traded? McLaurin, I don't see him traded. I think he's stuck.
No, Washington's got options because they got their quarterback on a rookie deal, right? They don't have to pay someone $50-60 million a year. So they can figure it out. They can pay Terry McLaurin, overpay Terry McLaurin for the next couple of years because they got their quarterback on a rookie deal. And that's the benefit of finding one of these young studs in the draft, right? Is that you can put all the talent in the world around them and try to build for a Super Bowl team without paying the quarterback $60 million a year. And if you, and the way people see it is, if you find one of these studs like Jalen in the draft and you can't win in the first 5 years with them, maybe it's time to search for a new one because you're never going to have more talent on that team than what you did in those initial 5 years. Yeah, they can continue to get better to a point, but you're never going to be able to surround them with more talent than you did those first 5 years. You know what I mean? And that was one of the major things with giving Tua the contract extension because, Tua's not an elite quarterback, but he was getting paid minimal money, and we were able to surround him with all the talent. Now that he's got the big contract, obviously we can't keep bringing in large contracts to help Tua succeed. So if he didn't win in those first 4 or 5 years, it's going to be a struggle for him to win in the future. You know what I mean? Especially when his cap number catches up with him.
Yeah. Yeah. And then this whole thing with they got Debo. I'm looking forward to seeing him, but I don't know if you guys seen him, but he put on a lot of weight. Debo needs to lose a few pounds. I don't know if you guys have seen him when he's like that. It's actually kind of funny. Yeah. So the only players who do they got? They got Debo there, Terry McLaurin, who the hell knows? They got Zach Ertz. Who's the running back again?
Is
Can
it
tell you in a
Gibson?
second.
Huh?
Is it Gibson?
I think it is, right?
Brian Robinson.
Oh, it's Brian
Running
Robinson, right?
Yeah, and then they got Austin Eckler too. So they got some weapons there at running back.
Yeah. So
They just
shout out
brought
to-
Laramie Tunsil in at left tackle. He's one of the better left tackles in the league.
So shout out to my guy Michael here. The Commanders better sign McLaurin because putting all your eggs into Debo Samuel, it's gonna stay healthy. It's gonna happen. Hey, McLaurin, that whole thing is just it's not gonna end anytime soon. By the
I don't
beginning
see-
of the season, it's not.
I don't see Debo as a top end receiver anyway. He's a great utility knife. He can do
Yeah.
a lot of good things for you, but as far as just a receiver, he's not a upper echelon receiver. He's a number 2 at best. Just as far as receivers go, but the fact that you can put him in the backfield and he can run the ball a bunch of times and do those type of things for you, that makes him an elite weapon. But as far as just a receiver, you need Terry McLaurin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially if he's on that Eddie Lacy plan. You're trying to see how much weight he can gain in the wrong places. That's not a good move for him, man. I get it that he's kind of a running back at times too, but adding the bad pounds is a bad idea.
Yeah. Here it is. Here's the depth chart. I'm gonna share the screen now. The Commanders just, I don't know. They are pretty good. I just don't see them going back. It's just the whole thing depends on James Daniels. Is last year a fluke, or is this is he actually legit? For me, I don't know if he's actually legit. I gotta wait and see. Noah Brown, they got Zach Ertz. God, I miss Zach Ertz. I miss Zach Ertz. Come back, please. Please come back. Their offensive line is okay, but yeah, they could definitely make some damage. You guys see anything good? How do I say this? You guys think they're going to be a big threat in the NFC? Up there with the Eagles and everything? I don't see it.
I think it's Washington, Detroit, and Philly. Honestly, if James Daniels can come out and play like he did last year, or even better, because I think he could be the next star in this league. I think he's damn near as mobile as Lamar Jackson. I think he's going to be able to throw the ball even better than Jackson eventually. If you can run the ball successfully, they got a really well-rounded team. You know what I mean? Nothing jumps off the paper like wow, but I think they got a really well-rounded team that knows how to play together. They're well coached. I think they're going to be up there with the Eagles. I don't think they're going to overtake the Eagles, but I think they'll be able to make some noise and be able to challenge for that. I think they'll be able to beat the Bucks in the playoffs. I think they can beat the Rams in the playoffs. Detroit in the playoffs is sketchy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd probably put them at number 3. I'd probably say Philly, then Detroit, and then Washington, in my opinion.
Yeah. James, how about you?
Seems pretty reasonable to me, and that's why they got to get this Terry McLaurin deal done. Because you can't go into the season with Jaden Daniels' top offensive weapon not on the roster. So get it done. with the understanding that you don't have to pay Jaden for another 3 years anyway. So give Terry a deal that's a 2 or 3 year deal, so it expires at the same time, and see if you can't win one. The only way you're going to make noise in this league is by having enough weapons. And if Debo is your number one, this ain't going to go well. So you got to pay Terry, in my opinion.
How much cap space does Washington have?
I have no idea on that one, but you can get creative with it, with false years at the end of it and whatnot, or push a bunch of money into the second or third year if you need to. Most teams are creative enough with cap space that they can make it work.
Well, a team like Washington, if Miami's wheels fall off, they're going to be looking to move Tyreek Hill at the trade deadline. If the wheels fall off, adding Tyreek to this offense with, where they need an elite playmaker, that could be very dangerous and give them the boost they need on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah. Wasn't that like a big talking point like throughout this whole offseason, Tyreek Hill for Terry McLaurin? I've been seeing that everywhere. Like
First
everywhere
off, that's not a fair trade. I mean, Terry
not.
McLaurin, not Tyreek Hill.
I know that.
So somebody came up with that. It was never realistic for the Miami Dolphins to trade Tyreek Hill just because how his contract set up. You know what I mean? Yeah. By the time the trade deadline happens, it's manageable to trade him. But before that, it just wasn't. It wasn't going to work out. Tyreek Hill's our best player. If Mike McDaniel, Chris Greer's jobs are really on the line, it would not make sense for them to trade away their best player, no matter how many issues he's given you. And if you haven't traded him yet with all the stuff he's done, what has he done recently that's going to make you trade him? You know what I mean? I'm still holding out hope that the Miami Dolphins can make something happen. They don't have to trade Tyreek by the trade deadline, but I just don't understand why our general manager is not addressing the corner, not addressing our offensive line depth. That those are issues. Our corner room is getting beat by other teams' third, fourth wide receivers. We continue to have injuries upon our cornerback room. Like Ethan Bonner, he's probably a third string guy on most teams' depth charts. You know what I mean? He started for us yesterday against Detroit. He got injured with a knee problem. I don't know what his issue is yet. We got Storm Duck starting on the other side, which I think Storm Duck is a promising young player, but is he better than a third on the depth chart on most teams? I don't know about that neither. You know what I mean? So yeah, our pass rush is going to help, but elite quarterbacks are going to be able to, and if you got a good offensive line, you're going to be able to pick us apart, and you got to go out and make a move for a corner and some offensive line help.
Yeah. Alexander says he does not trust the Miami Dolphins. I mean, it comes down to health for me. For Miami. Miami's like the same thing with I can't believe I'm about to say this, Sixers. It comes down to health. Like the Sixers, Embiid, Paul George, Tua for the Miami Dolphins. I hate saying that. I freaking hate my team. Hate my Sixers, man. I hate them. But yeah.
I feel for you in that position, man, because having a cornerback room that you don't like is a horrible position to be in a league that is very pass heavy right now. Yep. So that's tough, man. When I saw Artie Burns go down for you guys, I was like, oh no, they were counting on Artie Burns. Oh, this is bad.
I don't think Artie was gonna. He was a veteran presence, but Kader Gohu, he was probably our best chance of having a decent outside corner. He was our slot corner, and our nickel, but he had played outside before. And he did fairly decent his rookie year. He was going to be a decent piece, and then he went down for the year. And it's just the fact that there's been players available, and we have not done anything to address it. Yeah. You got Xavier Howard sitting at home that we could bring in for cheap. Why isn't he in the building at least getting a workout? You know what I mean? Like, there's people that you could bring in for workouts, and maybe they don't pan out. But to sit there and ignore it and act like there's not a problem when you know there is a problem is asinine to me. It's asinine.
Yep. like I said before, the Eagles are bad at CB2 right now. James, can we have Slay back? I'm gonna keep on asking you. I'm gonna keep on asking you.
Not a chance, man. Even if he's not a shell of what he was previous, we need him too bad. Sorry.
Hey, I'm happy that we got a Super Bowl with them. I'm happy
Yeah.
with that. But our future CB2 is not that good. I'm just gonna be honest.
So is you got the two guys from last year? Is Cooper DeJean only playing nickel? Then he's not playing any outside.
Now, a lot of Eagles fans said he should play out on the outside, and I partially agree, but I think he's better in a nickel and a slot. So it's
Gotcha.
just like we have Kelly Ringo who gets burnt every single time, and Dory Jackson who's not doing what he's supposed to do. So we're basically stuck at CB2 right now, and I'm worried. And I'm worried, like you said, James, how this game is pass heavy. Well,
Yeah.
we're kind of weak on that side. So we did have a safety, Makuba, who had a pick six yesterday, a 75-yard pick six. I mean,
Nice.
hey, I'll take that. I'll take that. But do I trust him against the number one guys? I don't know. I don't know.
So maybe they'll be better off finding somebody who can play adequately in the nickel and give Cooper a shot at outside. You know, I mean,
Yeah,
he's played real well thus far. It's tough because like when you pick a corner in the first and then another corner in the second, and that looks like that's going to be your dudes for the future. Man, I hate to see them not give him a shot at the outside too. I get kicking him inside the nickel, but man, I hope they let him play a little bit on the outside.
yeah. My guy Bobby says Slay is breaking down. It was time to move on. Yeah, it's time for us to get younger, but our CB2 is weak. Our CB2 is weak right now. So
Well, you can't have every position
no.
elite. Come on, bro.
I'm just acting like Howie Roseman's supposed to do.
What? Nobody feeling bad for your Eagles.
I am right now.
No, we're not elite at every position. Ugh.
Get that tiny violin out here.
That's a different. Hey, go look on Eagles Twitter. Go look on Eagles Twitter. I'm not like that, but it's hilarious.
Listen, the people that are fourth on your depth chart are starting for our team. You know what I mean? Like at one and two. You know what I mean? Not just one quarterback position, both.
Yeah. Michael says the team will be playing slot, safety, and CB2 in some packages. Hey, looking for it. It's all about the money. That is true. Where is Rasul Douglas and Samuel Jr.? Both of these players are better than anything that the Dolphins have their rosters and not even close.
I don't want either of those players. I don't want either of them.
I don't want either of them. Where is that? Isn't he a free agent?
Yeah, he's got a hurt neck though.
Okay. Because Eagles fans were like, I'll take him to reunite with Jeremiah Trotter's son, to continue that. I'm like,
Go ahead, take him, because I don't want him.
if Cooper wants to get paid, in the future, he has to be in the CB2 spot. Hey, I'm not the guy, but here's the thing, right? Michael, if he goes to CB2, who would you guys put at the slot and nickel? Who would we put there? I want to hear from your opinion, Michael. Hit the like on the Facebook side. Really appreciate it. Yeah, that's one of the things. James, how do you feel about your team, like the weakest spot right now? Like anything you can see them improving?
I think they need to do something about depth at the offensive line. I like the starting crew, but the backups, our top two backups have been injured the entire preseason, and I don't know if they're going to be healthy for the regular season or not. So that leaves us with one backup guard that I'm comfortable with, and that's about it. So they're one serious injury away from marching somebody out on the field that you don't want to on that offensive line. They're a lot deeper pretty much everywhere else, but that's a scary thing to me because I'm not real confident in that group.
Damn. But you're confident in like everywhere else except for that.
Honestly, I like what they've done. Yeah, I mean, there's certainly areas you could upgrade. But they're going to be counting on a lot of young guys. The middle linebacker group looks like it's going to be better than they've seen in a long time. The defensive line is going to be probably arguably as good as it was back when they had Stephon Tuitt and Javon Hargrave along with Cam Hayward. They finally got rid of some of those pieces that were really causing some major issues in run defense. So Juan Thornhill is probably a big question mark. If Juan Thornhill plays like he did with the Chiefs, then we're all right. If Juan Thornhill plays like he did with the Browns, then we need a safety. And then hopefully Chuck Clark could step in at that point. But so far, so good on him. We'll see how the regular season plays out.
How old is he?
Thornhill is still kind of young. I think he's like 27 or 28 or something.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think he's super old yet.
Oh, okay. I thought he was like almost 30. I thought he was like 29, 30. And I love how we're just talking about how 30 is kind of like on the upper age. And then like, I'm 30 and I'm like, how is that old? How is that old here? I just love that.
Man, I don't want to
Like,
talk about that right now.
Hey, I'm just saying. I don't want to.
I'm old man on this show.
I'm just like, it's just crazy how we just value or talk about their age and how old and like how their careers starting to deteriorate after a certain age. Like, it's just like they're not old. They're not
Yeah, it
old.
looks like Thornhill's older than I realized. He's actually 29. I thought he was a little bit
Oh,
younger. than
okay.
that.
So I did.
Yeah,
have
so
it. I said
yeah, you were pretty
29.
close on that.
I was like, wait, isn't he? But yeah. So who do you guys have next in your preseason games? Who's the next one? I think we got the Jets. I think
We got the Jaguars at home. We have a couple joint practices with them. And then we got the Jags.
Yeah. And then how about you, James? Who you guys got next?
I'm actually looking that up right now because I haven't been paying very close attention to who the opponents are in the preseason, to be completely honest. I got the Panthers in the final preseason game, which is who we used to always get in the final preseason game. So I'm just hoping they march a couple of these new guys out there for this game because all the big name guys that they went out and got from other teams haven't seen the field yet, both offensively and defensively. So I'd like to see a few of them get their feet wet a little bit and get to know each other a little with that chemistry on the field.
Yeah. Michael says the Eagles weakest spot is CB2. The question mark with Trotter. Because for me, we're actually pretty deep. We're pretty good at the linebacker position, but that's not necessarily our weakest. If you have Roku TV, the Phillies the Phillies are on at 11:35 in the morning, which is actually pretty crazy. I'm like, how? Like, how are they on? Who watches baseball 11:35 in the morning on the East Coast? That's usually a West Coast time. But James, I feel like you're gonna laugh at this. I found this Eagles content creator, right? And he was talking about Tanner McKee and how what quarterbacks he's better than. He said that he's better than Aaron Rodgers, and I'm like, what world are you smoking? Like, dude, Tanner McKee is good, but it's just like, let's pump the brakes a little bit, right? Let's pump the brakes.
It's tough. You always get a few quarterbacks in the preseason that look just absolutely incredible. And then you get them into the regular season. It doesn't typically hold up quite as well. I mean, got to give Teddy Bridgewater credit. He was coaching high school football like a month ago. He looked incredible last night against Pittsburgh. Granted, he's going against number 4, 5, and 6 corners. He wasn't playing against any starters, but he was really dropping the ball in there in some really tight spots. So Teddy looks real good for Tampa last night for sure.
Wait, he was a coach?
Yeah, he was coaching high school football. They needed a bunch of. Yeah, so like this kind of made some decent news nationally. The team needed some equipment, and he put his own money out there to go buy him a bunch of equipment, and got suspended for doing so because it violated some kind of rules. And so all of a sudden he's not coaching football. So he came back to professional football from high school coaching.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah,
rule?
it was some nonsense. Somebody obviously didn't like him there because he like literally put up his own money to help the kids out, and ended up getting in trouble for it.
Oh. Okay. You're doing something good and you still get penalized for it? What kind of rule? What kind of world are we in?
Like, that's just it, man. If people are trying to get sponsorship for their company or trying to get a contract for this, and now all of a sudden you don't need it because somebody donated it for free, you're stepping on toes as somebody in a corporate world.
Wow.
There was probably some
Okay.
superintendent that was friends with somebody that was selling Rydell equipment or something like that, and they got gypped out of getting some money behind or under a table or something and got real mad.
This wasn't your cast. What what did I say? What is that? But guys, we're gonna close it out here. If you guys haven't, please subscribe to the Hardcore Sports Network, Finn Posse Podcast, and Steelers by the Lake Podcast. Big C, what do you guys got next? What are you doing next over there?
Well, on the channel,
Yeah.
I got my Game Changers show coming back tomorrow night, probably 8:30. Me and my cousin Mike, we do a around the league thing. And then I do the Finn Posse podcast Monday through Friday, 10:05 a.m. I'll be late a little bit, but yeah, breaking down all the Dolphins news and notes from the week. But yeah, that's what we be doing. Season getting close. Hopefully the Miami Dolphins continue to make some moves and we can be a competitive team at the very least.
Yeah. Here's the link, guys, of Finn Posse Podcast. It's right there. And James, what do you guys got next? You guys are doing really well over there, as I can tell. And
Oh yeah, man! Finally broke that plateau. Kind of like you said, once we got past 100 subscribers, they're just kind of rolling in now. So that's a beautiful thing for us because our YouTube channel is still kind of young.
Yeah.
But doing our weekly shows still going to go to twice a week once the regular season starts up. We'll be doing another episode next Saturday, recapping this Thursday preseason game and doing our 53-man roster predictions. Hopefully with all four of us because we took on a couple other folks doing some co-host work with us. So it should be a big show and a pretty long one probably too.
Wait, you added more? So how many people is that now?
Four of us now. Yeah, so we had a couple of people that came on as part-time hosts once in a while or guests, and we kind of turned them into long-term hosts. That way we can try to make sure we have at least 2 or 3 people every week, and some weeks when it works out, all four of us.
All right. There you go. And if you guys want any of my Eagles content, you guys can go to Steampunk Sports Pennsylvania. That is where my Eagles stuff mostly goes. You can also subscribe to the Hardcore Sports Network as well. But here's the link for Steampunk Sports PA. Make sure I'll see you guys over there on Friday for Fly Like an Eagle podcast with my guys James and Joe. So make sure you guys tune in, hit that like, hit that subscribe. And we got a wrestling show on the network right now, the Wrestling Asylum with my guy Eric. Make sure you guys tune in over to there. And yeah, we'll catch you all later. Everyone have a good rest of your Sunday. And I'm waiting for football season to come faster. I'm waiting. All right, guys. We'll catch you all later. Peace.